Hello everyone, I'm Hilary Chin. Thank you all so much for coming and watching my YouTube channel. Today I want to show you how to create constraint and constraint messages using Kobotoolbox or in Kobotoolbox. Okay. Normally, when you design questions, there are some conditions that you set to tell maybe those who are collecting the data, like enumerators or participants, or whichever name you decide to call them. Each time they are collecting data or putting in data or filling your tool, there are some conditions that you set that tells them to stop a particular action or continue a particular action. And this constraint and constraint messages is very important because it allows you clean your data while you are collecting the data. And if you can set these questions well, it helps you to properly manage information or data and analyze this data without taking much time and also without stressing a lot. Let's dive in there so I show you what I mean. So, what I'm going to show you here is a way of setting a kind of condition that tells a user not to submit a form and also indicate if there's an error. So this is a form that I created. So I just want to show you what I mean. So if I come here to review or preview, and then during my preview here, you would see that I have asked a question. Number of boys, 2. For instance, number of girls, 2. Now, if I come down here and I put the wrong total, normally we are supposed to have 4, right? If I put 4, it's correct, no error. But if I put 5, you see that there's an error here that says enter this correct number 4. Okay. If I come here and I put 1, 1, and I come here and I put another 1, okay, you see that there's an error here. It says enter this number 2. So I come and put 2. So this is a good practice when you design your form. You want people to put the right values and you want your form to be cleaning while people are entering data. So when you get to cleaning the data, it doesn't give you too much work. So this is how we can put this. Okay, this is how we do this. So the only way to do this, we'll create a new form. We'll build from scratch. I'll just put demo, and then I come here and I put demo, and then I come here, I just choose education service, and I come here and I choose Cameroon. Okay, and I choose Cameroon, and then I create a new project. So as I create a new project, I'll show you how to create this kind of, how to put this kind of condition. Okay, I'll insist here by refreshing to see how it goes. Okay, so this is my form. So I'll just create the first question and I'll say boys, put question mark, and then of course I want them to be putting numbers, and then the second question will be girls. Of course I want them to be putting numbers as well. Okay, so I'll click save. Now up here, please make sure that each time you create your form like this, you click save. Okay, if you have not watched our video for Kobotoolbox for beginners, please go at the top of this video or at the end, you see that video there. So now we have created two questions. Okay, boys, girls. We'll come here now. This is where the trick starts. So here now, you must remember always that you have a common formula in Kobotoolbox. Always keep this formula, okay, where you put your $sign, curly brackets, okay, and then you go now to the first question. You go to the data column name, you go to setting here, you click and copy the data column name, Control C, and then you bring it into this space here, Control V, and you close it with a curly bracket. Give a small shift, plus you give a small shift, another $sign, open your curly bracket, go also to these girls, okay, to the second question here. You copy this data column name. Data column names are very powerful, guys, in Kobotoolbox, and you click it in here, Control V, and then curly brackets, and then you go here, and then you choose calculate. Okay, you choose calculate because you want it to be calculating here. What you want to be happening, what you want to be happening here is that anytime I put a number here, and I put another number here, this number here should be adding up with this number here. That is why we have the plus sign. And the way you can do it is using the data column name of this question and the data column name of this question and summing them under here and then choosing calculate, and then I'll save. Once I save, if I review this question, you will not see this option. You will only see boys and girls. So come to this next page and then I choose total children and I write total children, okay? Total children. Of course, I want numbers. I want them to be entered through numbers, by numbers, and I save. Now, I first of all want us to go review this form and see how this form looks, okay? I'll come here and preview it. Let's see how it looks, okay? We are still to put another formula there, but for now, let's first of all see how it looks. Wow. So if I come here and I put 2, and I come here and I put 2, and I come here and I put 5, you see, there is no signal because it doesn't match. 2 plus 2 is supposed to be 4, right? If I come here and I put 4, it's correct, right? But if I come here and I put 5, you see that it doesn't signal. Let's go back and put the formula. So to put the formula, I'll go back to my form and I go to edit the form. And then I come here now. This is here. I want you to remember that we took the data column name from here, and then we came here and plus it here. So everything is appearing here. Now we have created a new question, total children, and we have selected numbers. They have to enter numbers, right? So we are going to come here to this calculate and go to the data column name of this calculate and collect this data column name because we want everything that is happening here to be happening down here. So we have collected the data column name. Remember, I have copied it. So I still remain copied, okay? I've copied it. I'll come now to this total children here and also go to the data column name here, to the settings, sorry. And then I go now to data validation criteria, please. When I choose this validation criteria, I'll now go to manually enter your validation logic in Excel format code. I'll now click. Once I click, you see that it gives me validation code here. It's already giving me some options here. So what I'll do is I'll click dot or full stop. I give a shift equals to, and then I'll give my dollar sign, curly bracket open, and then I paste curly bracket close. Now, this data column name that I took from here, I've pasted it here. So anything that is summing up here will also be appearing here, but under this condition that it must be equals to. What does that mean? If I put a number here and I put a number here, this number here must be equals to this number here. So if there's 2 here and there's 2 here, it should be 4. That's what it's saying here. It shouldn't be 5. It shouldn't be 6. It shouldn't be greater than or lower than. It should be equals to. That is why I have put dot equals to. I could have put greater than, but we have chosen to put equals to in this case. So why I put this, I'll come and put an error message that says, enter this correct value. Okay? And then once I do this, I'll just open my other simple bracket here. And then I bring, without copying the equals to, just my dollar sign and curly bracket open and close plus my data column name there. And then I close this bracket. So whatever is appearing here will be appearing here. Remember, whatever is appearing here, when the calculate is doing the calculation, whatever is happening to this data column name will be appearing here. It will also be appearing here. But under here, it will be appearing under this set condition that it must be equals to. So if it doesn't meet this condition, and then this error message will appear and then bring the right answer here to indicate that we should put this in. So now I'm going to save this. Once I save this, we go back to our form and then we preview. Now, once we preview this form, you see that it's a totally different form, okay? And then now, I'll just go here now. If I put 2 here and I put 2 here, okay? And I come and put 4 here, you see that this is very okay. If I come and put 5 here, Now there's an error message. It says enter this correct value 4. Remember that the calculation that is going on, which is not shown here, is automatically calculating it, adding up boys and girls, and then bringing here because the data column name was removed and put here in is bracket. Okay, so let's go back there and you see very clearly so you understand the form very well. So this plus this is calculating here, and then whatever is calculating here is constant with the data column name. So we remove the data column name and then we brought it down here to be appearing around the total children. So we also brought it down here and then brought it to the date validation criteria here and put it here. So whatever is appearing here is appearing here, but under a set condition, okay? But under here now, it is just giving us the right answer here and telling us to correct. Now, this is very important when we collect data, okay? It gives the data collector that indication that please put the correct answer and also automatically corrects the data collector. Maybe they are tired or maybe they have some issues, etc., etc. So the form corrects them and tell them, hey, this is the right answer to put here. This is very, very important. I hope this helps. Ciao, ciao. Thank you all so much. I hope this Kobotoolbox lesson was helpful, and I look forward to your comments and also your suggestions down below. And make sure to join our WhatsApp group down there in order to have updates on some of the new tools that we are teaching. And also, please do well to send us an email if you need a personal training or a training for your organization. We have a team that can come there and do that for you while you sit on your comfort zone. Thank you all so much and stay blessed.